Welcome back to another exciting episode of our weekly entertainment podcast. We call it Spitball Media because we just spit out all these media stories around the entertainment world. My name is John Draper. Joining me tonight, of course, is the legend of the Midwest. He's the mayor of Burleytown. His name is Shah Bryan. Shah Bryan, how are you?
Feeling very burly tonight in this nice, like flannelly plaid.
I'm not wearing a button shirt, which is very unusual for me.
It's very stylish, man.
It is. I forgot I had this one. I think the kids bought it for me, and I have socks. I coordinate with the socks. I always coordinate.
Oh, yeah.
But how's things in Burleytown, USA?
Warming up a little bit, not a whole
bit.
lot. Yeah, no, it's not bad out here. A little crazy, as Ohio is, as we talked about on on the podcast Friday night with Mr. Hey Now Rich Dow.
Yes, I was going to get to that in the podcast. I was knee deep in alcohol and cannabis, so there was no way I could form a sentence. But if you join us for the first time, thanks for checking us out. We do this each and every Thursday, 8:30 on the East Coast. And quick mention, Shaheen is on assignment. He will not be here this evening. He sends his regrets. He might be able to join us later in the show, but apologies. So me and Bisho will be here holding it down. But if you consider going to our Patreon, we have a Patreon, $5 a month, cheap as fuck. It's patreon.com/spitballmedia. And there's oodles of noodles of exclusive content for you there, featuring solo shows, theme shows, Break the Apocalypse, our COVID days, where we cover news stories with a comedic twist. And of course, Bisho, the one, the only, the Q&A.
Oh, absolutely. The Q&A is ready for your questions. We don't know if we're going to record it this weekend or next weekend. It just depends on what everyone's got going on. So in case it is this weekend, go to patreon.com/spitballmedia. Get your questions in to make sure that you get your questions answered for this month.
Yes, and I will be dropping a solo show for the new month for the Patreon. I'm going to exclusively discuss some wrestling things that have been going on that I have not addressed here. I have not addressed anywhere else, and I will not address anywhere else other than the Patreon. I'm not dropping bombshells necessarily, but be like we talked about this offline. I am going to address my upsurge in engagements and why I am not going to pursue that further. So please consider going to patreon.com/spitballmedia, $5 a month. It's an affordable premium program package, and it's ready for you today, right? They literally can go right now if they wanted to.
Yeah, you can go right now.
Right now.
You can drop by. You can listen to a show while you go to the post to drop your question.
Oh, I like that.
And then while you're there, you can sign up and you can check out some of our other friends. So
absolutely. And we got tons of pals there, and we have a deep crew there that we've been with for many years, that we're very tight with, that keep the lights on in this place. And of course, we appreciate them. B, who's in the chat tonight? I haven't checked out the Chatterooski.
Got a few jumped in so far. We got John JLD 999.
Young John, as I like to call him.
Yeah. Don Stoney.
The Esquire.
Donald Q. Stoney Esquire. That's right.
Donald Q. Stoney Esquire. I mean, he worked hard for that degree. I mean, he took the bar. We should.
Hey Now Rich Dow.
I was gonna bring that up later on in the show, that you made a little appearance on the Hey Now Rich Dow podcast. I was listening to some clips today.
Yeah, I did. We did 2 hours. Talked about a lot of things.
Yes.
Sharing stories about trying to start podcasts and influences and life stories, and it's really, he's made it easy for you. If you want to check out snippets, you can check out Hey Now Rich Dow.
Hey Now Rich Dow, absolutely.
He's got a bunch of shorts and also the long form podcast.
And he's got a brand new dog, but that's really the more important thing.
I think him and Shah are going to start that pug cult we've always
cult.
Talked
about. I could see him joining the pug cult. Who else is hanging out with us tonight?
We got Fatty from the Bayou Geeks.
The Fatty 316 from the Bayou Geeks. Big fan.
The Fatty 316, man.
The Fatty.
We got Chris Matthews.
My old pal Chris Matthews, friend of the show.
We have Slave Cheeks.
The Slave Cheeks.
Hey, Joe Punches coming at us still.
Oh, I didn't expect to see my friend Mr. Punches tonight. No. Shout out to our very good friend. Coming live from room 205.
From 525. That should be his podcast. If he starts a podcast, it should be 525 Live.
You need to change your name to Joe 525, bro. Dude, we love you. I'm glad you're on the mend. We're that may just put a big pep in my step. Wow. All right. That was awesome. I didn't know he was going to be here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it so far, but still filing in.
Well, thank you guys for chilling. We just, we're wrapping up here to get into the main show. And again, Shah is on assignment. He's not here tonight. But cheers to Mr. Punches. Shout out to Joe Punches. He's recovering in the hospital. He's a good friend to all of us. Many of you guys have known him for years in our circles. So shout out to the Punches. So interesting news stories this week in entertainment. But Bisho, today is opening day, and the Mets are already under 500.
Oh, didn't you say it was a complete Mets fashion that your MLB network was down or something
Yeah,
like that?
the app for the ML to watch SNY on the MLB network was failed. I just thought that was so great.
Oh, well,
But
it's great, man. We both have shitty teams to root for the
well, I don't have
Tigers.
I don't have a shitty team. My team's supposed to be really good, actually.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Oh, the Mets supposed to be. They're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They're
I
supposed to
just
be
always
really
see
good.
your disappointment, so I assume they're a bad
Well,
team.
they've won 2 World Series since 1962,
Okay.
and one of them was not in my lifetime. So and I'm 50,000 years old. So but let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? Let's see how it goes. It's a long day for baseball. But Bisho, you're the big Tigers guy. How the Tigers open today or tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm so out of the loop. I'm such a terrible fan that I completely forget about baseball until it's already underway, and then I get out of the habit of watching. So plus, I think the Tigers are only available on Bally Sports now, and I'm not paying
God.
like $10 just to watch the Tigers. So
yeah, well, you could go to a game probably for that. Fucking
probably, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know
not
about
that
the Tigers.
expensive, and it's not that far a drive either. It's only like
The
40
Tigers are
minutes.
pretty good. Tigers aren't terrible. Did they make the postseason last year? Yeah, they did.
They did.
They
They
did.
did.
Most certainly did. Yeah, they're young. They're young. But let's see how the Mets do. Juan Soto struck out with bases loaded today. In the bottom of the ninth inning. I mean, it was just like one of those things like, this is the highest paid athlete of all time. They just got him from the Yankees. He literally makes $30 million every 5 minutes. Let's see what he does with bases loaded. And he strikes out. The game is over.
My dad used to say only weather people and baseball players can get paid that much for being good half the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if you imbibe in baseball, happy opening day. I hope your team does great. I'm excited, and if the Mets win the World Series, I am getting a Mets tattoo, and I'm going to cry on the air. So, but we probably won't ever see any of these things happen. But Bisho, last week, unbeknownst to our listeners, we pulled a story off of our repertoire because the decision was, let's see how it does at the box office, because we don't want to presume one thing or the other. What am I talking about? Well, it's kind of the bigger story of the week in the movie industry. Snow White. Snow White underperformed at the box office to really no surprise, even though there was quite a few pundits rallying around the quality of it. But the movie is poised to probably have a very poor second weekend. Now, Bisho, I think it did 45 million globally. Could we possibly pull those numbers? I don't want to. I don't know what it did globally. I know it underperformed.
That's what I'm looking for, but there's a lot of articles on what we're going to talk about in a minute. So
but it did underperform as far as that goes. I think it maybe did 23 million or 30 million.
Yeah, so the mood Sunday was grim, and on the Disney lots, Snow White opened behind expectations to an estimated $43 million domestically. Globally, the film was expected to clear $100 million, but came in at $87.3.
Now, I think this is a $200 million movie, $170 million movie, Bisho, and that is, but let's just stress, we try to do this, that is the production cost. That is not that is just to make the motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, according to the Hollywood Reporter, it was $270 before another $100 million for marketing costs. $370 million out the door.
Okay, and this weekend it'll probably end up doing, if I had to guess, 12 million, 8 million, maybe 15. That's my guess. There's other things opening. Not that the Jason Statham movie is going to take the box office from Snow White, but this is a black eye on a very beleaguered Disney brand. And now it depends on which news circles, Bisho, you're following. So if you're following more progressive news circles, you're going to see that Rachel Zegler, the star, shines brightly, and Gal Gadot sucks. Even though Rachel Zegler is Snow White, it's like basically saying that Bond movie tanked because the guy playing the villain wasn't good. But if you look at more nuanced, less captured less virtue signaling sources, they're going to say because the movie is fucking terrible and because she's kind of a cunt.
Yeah, just the headline on Business Insider: Disney's Snow White flop is deeper than anti-woke backlash. And then when I was looking for the box office, there was another more friendly website that said it was red state fans that tanked the movie. I'm hearing this movie was terrible. I've seen
Terrible.
a couple camera phone shots from scenes in the movie. It looks
Awful.
The CG looks absolutely dog shit.
Dog shit.
So
Yeah, and she's kind of a cunt. So really, what I found fascinating in the buildup was the weeks prior, because Gal Gadot is, it's easy to attack her, even though she's been in huge films, and I've never seen this. No one ever said she sucked when she was Wonder Woman and it made $1 billion. I'm talking about the second Wonder Woman was a COVID release on Christmas Day, and it was a piece of shit. The first Wonder Woman made $1 billion, and like my children went and saw it three. It was like an event, and she's hot and she's smoking fucking hot. So, but I never saw people shift so quickly to protect their political feelings on the Middle East situation. Bisho, have you ever seen a circumstance where the co-star was blamed for the film doing poorly and not the lead?
no, never. Never. And it's funny because I'm not as tuned in as you are to the political aspect of the movie, so I didn't see everything you did until we started talking about it and I was looking for articles. But it is strange. And question, I know Gal Gadot stood up for Israel, and I know there's a lot of
Well,
backlash.
she's Israeli. That's what she is.
I know. I'm saying I know there's a lot of backlash around that right now. Do you
Right.
think? Do you think it's more than that too? Like she did that stupid Imagine video during COVID that people kind of soured on her on.
Well, every A-lister in Hollywood did that video.
I know. So I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm seeing little reasons that could chip away at like why people don't like her anymore. But the only thing that really seems to make a big difference is the whole political climate right now.
Because she's
Yeah,
Israeli. I mean,
I know.
just say it out loud. Like, it's
Well, is it? And that's the thing is it because she is, or is it because she apparently went and to some address or some meeting? I don't know what she specifically did, but in support of Israel or something.
well, she's Israeli. I mean, like it just doesn't, and she's been Israeli. Like no one had a problem with this for Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman 2, the movie about the death on the Nile, Fast and the Furious. I don't recall this being a thing. I just don't recall. She was a good Wonder Woman. She looked great. I mean, she looks fucking great.
Yeah.
I think this really was about virtue signaling because that is the thing. It's the lawn sign. You can't say the Israeli woman did a good job, but also she's the co-star of the fucking movie. If the Jason Statham movie bombs, and do we blame the co-star? Like they refuse to say Rachel Zegler is kind of an asshole for putting her politics into a Snow White movie, shitting on the lineage. She's kind of a dick. Every time I see this girl, she's saying something stupid, whether it was from West Side Story, and she's a mediocre talent. If Gal Gadot's a shitty actress, at least she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler looks like a girl you went to high school with. She could sing. She's a great singer. I will not. She's an amazing singer. She's someone who should be on stage doing musicals, not opening $400 million movies.
Well, see, and that's what I was trying to figure out what the trigger was. Was it a specific event? Was it? But there's really nothing that I can think of other than
October
what you're talking
7th.
about.
That's what it was.
But that's what I'm saying. Yes, it seems like that's the only thing I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, so we're not just agreeing with everything all the time. But I really can't put a cohesive, cogent argument together as far as what else it could have been.
Yeah.
And what's funny too is in the wake of that, there are clips that someone put up when she was on Jimmy Kimmel showing just how like narcissistic and fake Rachel Zegler was about this whole Snow White thing.
Yeah,
Like,
somebody
doing
said she's the
interviews.
Mercedes. I don't know. I'm going to cut you off, but Neckbeards, I think, shout out to Neckbeards, said she's the Mercedes Monet of movies.
Yes, and there was a clip someone put up where she's talking and doing press about how like Snow White was her favorite movie growing up and she watched it a million times and it was her favorite ride at Disney and she always wanted to go on. But then she was on Kimmel at one point talking about how the Snow White ride terrified her, so she would never go on again, and that she only watched the movie once when she was a kid and had to rewatch it again.
Yeah,
before
she shit on the
doing it.
lineage. She shit on like basically.
But not even
everything
that. I'm
about
just
it.
saying the fake.
No, she has before though. She completely took a shit on the.
I understand it, but in between, she's saying she's never seen it. It's blah, blah, blah. It's terrifying. But then when she gets the role, it's like, this is my favorite movie. So
Yeah.
nothing is consistent with this girl either.
So something that developed in the last few days that's getting a lot of press is a Instagram post from the son of the head of a studio. I forget his last name is Platt. His brother is actor Ben Platt, which I didn't know he was a nepo baby.
Jonah Platt.
Jonah Platt, their father. Ben Platt is an actor. You've probably seen him in a lot of things. He's a musical guy, I think, too. But there was a story that when Rachel Zegler started doing all this pro-Hamas stuff and talking shit, that the studio head had to fly to go talk to her in New York. You know, she lives in New York. And Bisha, shed some light on this. I want you to read his statement, but also set up why his statement was made.
So there was, it looks like on Instagram, someone tagged him, and I
The
don't see
son,
who it
the
is.
son of the studio
Yes.
head, right?
Jonah Platt.
Right, Jonah Platt. Jonah Platt is the son. I don't know his father's name, but he is the studio head of this portion of Disney, who went and sat down with Rachel Zegler and told her, you know, to chill with these comments because. And go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to give some color there.
It's all right. And the person who posted this on Instagram, the name's cut off, but it says, "Your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this?" So this virtue signaling, like, will you tell us about this thing? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No, shame on your father. Now, his response, which I think is really
maybe one of the greatest things I've ever read in my life.
Yeah. He tags her. Oh, it's. I don't want to. I'm not going to doctor and say her name. You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting a movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability. And her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all of the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
Game over. Game over. You cannot have a response to that. I mean, I saw it getting major media attention today. I mean, literally, like, game over, like, as far as I'm concerned. He's 100% right. It's getting praise from everywhere. Look, Rachel Zegler is not some liberal arts, Sarah Lawrence college student living off of ramen, fighting for the plight of the Gazans. She is a millionaire given a, cush job that she clearly doesn't give a shit about. And if she felt that strongly about these causes, quit your acting job, go stand in front of Columbia University with the sign and yell at Jews, because if that's more important to you. And I mean, what else is there to say, Bisho?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, even aside from the class thing of her like being one of the, I hate to say limousine liberals because it makes me sound like Rush Limbaugh, but there is a very big trend. And yeah, I know. He wouldn't have sounded that clear, I guess. But, and good riddance, too, by the way. That guy was a fucking asshole. Yeah, so, not even just from the limousine liberal type of shit, but just like and I know she's young and maybe it's foolish on her part at best, but like he said, to jeopardize a multi-million-dollar project where other people have jobs. And now, I saw on Reddit some, Robbie Richmond sent this over for some other context, but like, there's some people saying, okay, there wasn't tens of thousands of people working on the film. It's probably a little overkill. And the blue collar people, it's not like they're getting points that are affected by the box office and the residuals. So they're still going to get paid. But it's still the message. It's this is so much bigger than you.
It's bigger than you.
So much bigger than you. And you are tanking it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, the machine is going to rush to blame Gal Gadot because it's fashionable in those circles to blame the person who's not on the side of, Palestine or Hamas or whatever.
Right.
But this is a lesson that needs to be learned, because I have a feeling that Hollywood executives with the changes going on in Washington and across the country as far as
Oh
the
yeah,
climate,
yeah.
I
The
think
climate's
this is the
changing.
type of thing we're going to start seeing, and they're not going to be tolerating that bullshit for very much
Absolutely.
longer.
And I think that's really what the point is that this is not 2020. COVID's over. There's no looting and rioting going on where everybody goes, it's just, it's the way it is. The majority of people finds the rhetoric that she is using offensive, anti-Semitic, and it makes them uncomfortable, and they don't know why it's in their Snow White movie. I can't honestly, some people are saying I cannot conceive how she would get an acting job after this. I really can't. I am curious to see what the box office this weekend is, though. But the movie looks terrible. She's not famous enough for this. She's just not. Honestly, she's just not.
Yeah, she's not like Sean Penn with a pedigree behind her
Yeah,
who can
that's what
take
I'm
those
saying.
risks.
She's not like Susan Sarandon, who has a couple of Oscars, who says crazy left leaning things that a lot of people don't like. Like she's a nobody. She wasn't even invited to the Oscars the year West Side Story was up, and she's the star of the movie. They didn't even invite her, and she went on a network show and complained, and they got her a ticket at the last minute. She's a cunt, and I just think it's hilarious. Adam Roach joins us here, and I think the man with no name joins us. Adam Roach, I can tell you this in Ireland. My little nieces went to see Dogman in the cinema. Kids don't care about Snow White. Yeah, Dogman looks like it did really well. That was one of the things that opened this weekend. But let's see what the box office is this weekend. I have a feeling it's going to be a nosedive, B-show, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think they said Wednesday it did 2 million across the country.
Yeah, and this weekend, like I said, it'll probably do 7-8 million, maybe. I'd be shocked if it did 12 or 13. It's going to lose $150 million.
Oh, geez.
But the Slave Cheek said Ziegler would be cast in a Disney Plus Star Wars series. Yeah, yeah, maybe maybe she could replace that girl from the Acolyte. That would be.
Oh shit! Did you
These
see?
people are tanking these properties.
But did you see? There's people coming out and trying to like claim bullshit on that too. That
That
people trying to
it,
say that was. It's so
lunacy.
yeah.
It's lunacy. Just take the L. Just take the L. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Learn how to take an L.
Mhm.
The country, everything would be better. The world would be better if people just said, "I lost. I fucked up. I fucked up." Can you imagine Rachel Zegler made a video tomorrow and said, "You know what? I feel terrible about the people that worked on the movie that were counting on this and other people, and I'm sorry if I took the spotlight away with my activism, and I stand behind the movie and I think it's great and I really wish people would give it a chance." I would be like, "Wow, ate some shit. That's great. Eating shit is great. Eating shit is wonderful. It's done.
It tastes great.
It tastes great.
It's
done
less filling and
wonders
it
for
tastes
famous
great.
people, athletes, celebrities, people been caught. Mike Tyson ate shit. Robert Downey Jr. ate some shit.
Dude,
I mean, the line is
how many
on and
people
on and
thought
on.
Robert Downey Jr. would have a career after when he got busted?
He's the highest
Yeah.
paid actor for the millennium.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, go back to like 1995, 96.
Oh,
when
he was
had his
poisoned.
drug
He
problem.
couldn't. Mel Gibson put him in a movie because he felt bad for him in the 90s. Speaking of Robert Downey Jr., some very fascinating Avengers news from the Disney camp. A movie that will not tank, Avengers Doomsday, which is going to be a big fuck you movie with a cast that is, I don't know, be sure that we've seen a movie with a cast like this.
No, this is like if WWE ran the Saudi Arabia show and decided to bring back every single legend ever and every person they've ever.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, a lot of names are missing from this list. So Robert Downey Jr. made a post yesterday or today rather, saying that stay tuned. There is going to be Marvel is bringing back a dick ton of stars here, people that you thought maybe were done. Now, obviously, you have the people that they're working with currently, like say Sebastian Stan, or Florence Pugh is now in the Thunderbolts movie. But Bisho, I didn't think I'd be seeing Rebecca Romaine as Mystique. I didn't think I'd see Ian McKellen at 80 years old.
Let's go through this because I didn't read this list. I wanted to be all right.
But yeah.
Okay, let's pick some out then. Ian McKellen, I did not expect.
I want to go to the Channing Tatum gets the rub for Gambit.
I know. I'm excited for that shit, dude. I love
the
Gambit.
OG Cyclops, James Marsden. Kelsey Grammer is going to be the Beast. Patrick Stewart is Professor Xavier.
Patrick Stewart. Nightcrawler, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming is back as Nightcrawler.
Okay, how do you feel about Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards?
I like Pedro Pascal. The Dave Grohl thing that he's in everything is exhausting. But he's good. I like him. He's a very, very affable. Look. There's a reason why you're seeing Pedro Pascal everywhere, right? People love him. He has a humility to him. But he's overexposed. I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. Now you're seeing the modern day people in here, like the cast of Fantastic Four. Anthony Mackie is Captain America and so forth. But Bisho, there's some pretty big names missing. And one of the names that people pointed out was another beleaguered actress, Brie Larson.
Now, is that an intentional leave out or is that a surprise for later?
Could be working on her. People pointed out that Mark Ruffalo is not here. People pointed out Chris Evans is not here. But Bisho, they seem to. It seems that they are focusing on the Fox X-Men and not creating new, younger X-Men because of the star power. I mean, notice we did not see Hugh Jackman's name or Ryan Reynolds' name associated with this.
I wonder if Ryan Reynolds is going to get residual heat from that whole thing his wife's got going on, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that much like Deadpool Wolverine, there's going to be some surprises.
Yeah.
But with Hugh Jackman being an older guy, and look, I'm not saying old for this earth. I'm saying old for, jacked up leading guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's maybe too hard for him to get in that shape and stay in it.
Well, he said that 8-9 years ago, and they gave him a couple $100 million, and he shot his roids up and came right back. By the way, Adam Roche, Electric State, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Robbie Richmond has joined us. Robbie, we just mentioned you like 10 minutes before you came on the air.
Yeah. What's up,
That's
Robbie?
funny. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Robbie Richmond is saying all these people get killed off, and then it's Secret Wars. Because Secret Wars is going to have Wolverine, Daredevil, Deadpool, probably the other Miss Marvel. But expect things to be tight-lipped here, Bisho. But it's amazing how the MCU is a lot like the WWE. Like when you think they're done, they just come right back. Oh,
well, what's up, Will? I mean, it almost seems like a sea change where something had to happen. Like in WWE, Vince had to leave and they had to fucking re-rack everything and get rid of some of the cancer. With this, it's almost like the climate had to change politically because, look, corporations are following the money and they're following the interest of the climate, the thermostat, right? Mm-hmm. So it's fine for them to say, you know what, let's just shelve some of this activist stuff for a while. Get back over here. And, okay, stars, let's go. Bring in the X-Men. Bring in Hugh Jackman. Bring in Deadpool. Like, let's do this now because it's okay and it's safe to do it now. So I think that's part of it. But I also think they finally just got to a point where they're like, we can't keep like Guardians of the Galaxy was maybe a fluke. We can't just bank on these new, I don't want to say C or D level, but like, tertiary level comic properties to just be a surprise, success.
Yeah.
We need big stars. We need recognizable names. And as, who said it? Was it Slave Cheeks?
Yeah, the lower card.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a great. It is like wrestling though.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know that I'm just saying for this lineage to see these OG X-Men, insane. It's fucking crazy. I didn't see Halle Berry there. That's kind of sucky. Mm-hmm. But I just some of these names are so shocking that they're actually coming back. And look, we're gonna see. Look, we're gonna know. But it created a positive buzz, right? I mean, it just did.
What about Famke?
I would love to then bring Famke Janssen back. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's a good-looking lady there. Yes. That's an attractive woman, just like Rebecca Romaine there.
Romaine. Yeah,
not ugly ladies. You throw Halle Berry in there, like
was that John Stamos' beard?
Well, yeah, he was married to her for a bit, and then she's with O'Connell still. She's been with O'Connell for like 20 years.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I like her. She's very likable. She's a very chill chick, man. That's a fun lady. Back in the Stern days when she was with Stamos. That is a fun lady. But it was exciting to see. And other news, this got great reaction from people. The sort of, I guess, prequel, standalone, finally, Friday the 13th Peacock TV series, which has Bisha, as we know, I've reported, has had ebbs and flows, is back in the media spotlight because they found their Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes, and a follow-up to a story that we covered a couple of weeks ago, it has been confirmed. Linda Cardellini, Been in numerous movies. I know her because of my kids from Scooby Doo. She was Velma, hot Velma. She was
Well,
also in.
she was from TV, but she also had that very good TV show from Netflix with Applegate that did very well a couple years ago. She was a
That's
co-star on
right.
that.
She was also the girl, the
ER,
executive.
I think she was an ER
She
maybe.
was in ER, but before that, I think one of her first big roles was Grandma's Boy, which I just watched a little
Oh,
while
Freaks
ago.
and Geeks. She's from Freaks and Geeks.
That's right. That's one of that
Yeah,
Apatow universe people. But she
yeah.
has signed on to officially be hot as fuck Pamela
Wow.
Voorhees.
Now, before we proceed, Linda Carlini is about 48, 49, maybe a little
Mhm.
younger. Linda Carlini is a very good-looking lady. Bisho, is it weird that we're going to have a hot Mrs. Voorhees?
Ah,
I mean,
I
she's
mean,
good-looking lady. This is an
she is.
attractive woman.
Look, it's not as drastic to me as like Aunt May from Spider-Man, where it
Yeah,
was like
Marissa
old.
Tomei is also similar age, older, very attractive
Yeah,
person.
but and Betsy Palmer traditionally looks like an older
You
grandma.
know what's
But if
funny? This woman at this age was probably younger than Linda Cardellini is now, looking like that. I guarantee you, I'm right.
that's what I was gonna say.
How much do you want to bet?
That's why it doesn't seem so weird to me because Betsy Palmer, she looks like a traditional older woman because of style,
She
but she
was
was
probably in
probably
her
50.
late
She's probably
40s, maybe early
yeah. Here,
50s.
let's find
Linda
out.
Cardellini might be 50. How old do we think Cardellini is? I'm going to say 48.
48 to
I'm going to say.
52, I'd say. I'm gonna do the
All right.
prices
How
right.
old
Give
is
you a
Linda
range.
Cardellini? Let's see how right I am.
Oh, what's her name?
49.
And then,
She'll be 50. Wait, she's going to be 50 in June.
so how old was Betsy Palmer in Friday the
In
13th?
81. 81.
Oh shit, it doesn't not tell me.
She was 27.
She,
This is what 40 looked like in 1980.
yeah, let's see.
Dude, Mrs. Howell was only like 50 on Gilligan's Island. She was playing like 50. And she looks 75. Yeah,
Okay,
Adam's
AI.
like Marissa Tomei is hands down one of those people. Yeah.
Oh my God, John,
She's 44 here.
41.
She is almost 10. Okay, but let's get some
I'm
perspective.
38.
She is almost 10 years older, 10 years younger in this photograph. Switch to Linda Cardellini, please.
I I don't know.
Let's
I
get
don't
your
buy
Linda.
this. No,
Oh,
I
it
think
is.
she was
I think I'm
61.
no.
But yeah,
That's
I
not
mean,
61. She barely has any lines in her face at 61.
so
Lines in her-
film released in 1980. She was born in 1926.
Oh, okay, wait. So hold on. Oh, she was 61. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, but that's on brand. So wait a minute. How old was she when she had Jason? 40? I don't understand.
Maybe that's why it was messed up. She
Wait,
waited
this
too long.
doesn't make sense. I don't want to die on this hill. But Jason was supposed to be like a late teen when he was like
In the 1950s, Jason drowned at like 53, 55, something like
you know
that.
what? I think we're losing sight of the fact that Linda Cardellini is a very hot, almost 50-year-old person.
But it's so funny. I don't know if it's I'm just getting to that age where I'm older, so I'm, more attracted to women from a different range.
Yeah.
So like older women in their 50s and even early 60s sometimes, like we talked about Demi Moore, looked fantastic.
Oh god, yeah, but Demi Moore is like an icon. Come on, Demi Moore is like there's only one like Demi Moore. Like you know
Yeah,
what I'm
but, like,
saying? Like
Yeah, but like then I see pictures of what's her name, Salma Hayek at like 60, and I'm like, dude, I would do.
yeah, I mean, listen, but I mean, dude, we have to call this episode "Hot for Mrs. Voorhees."
So like think about that. Back in the 80s and
Hot
90s,
Mrs. Voorhees.
hot Mrs.
Yeah.
Voorhees.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s and 90s, who would have the equivalent have been? Like Delta Burke or Elizabeth
No,
Taylor?
there was no B-show in
No,
the
I'm saying
80s.
age-wise. I'm saying age-wise, not looks-wise.
Age-wise, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But there's John JLD. There's a lot of older women that are good looking now in your lifetime. When I was in my 20s, nobody called a 60-year-old hot.
That's what I'm saying. Is like,
I assure
wasn't
you.
wasn't B. Arthur and Rue McClanahan like 50 or something like that? They're
But
probably
they weren't.
Linda
They
Cardellini's
weren't
age.
hot. They were like, come on. That's people
No,
say
no, no.
that.
That's the point I'm making. Is like
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like famous television people who are in their 50s and 60s, and none of them are remotely as attractive.
Adam, I
as,
am a
like,
Christina
that.
Hendricks fan, my friends. Trust me. You're barking up the. Christina Hendricks is 49 too. My fucking god, I have been a fan for many years. But I'm gonna have to stop the show and go get a box of tissues. Let's keep it moving. Listen. The bottom line is this: B show. I think she lends credibility to the show, and I think she lends her name value, and I think it got a lot of positive press. Which otherwise, had it been an unknown or like a horror person, we would not have gotten this kind of reaction.
Yeah, could you imagine like Felissa Rose or Danielle Harris or some other
Yeah.
like I like them, but D-lister, it would not have had the same sticking power.
Yeah, and Linda Cardellini's not an A-lister. I would say she's a strong B, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for
Not,
sure.
she's no
But
A-list. She doesn't open films. I mean, she's not that kind
yeah,
of person.
she's done enough to be okay. This is a legitimate actress. She's done some stuff. Let's do this. But it's not
Yeah.
like it's Reese Witherspoon or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, that would have been, dude. If it was Reese Witherspoon, we would have been doing an hour on that.
I know.
We would have been doing, because that's another one that I think is just aging wonderfully.
Yes, we would have had to put a revolving door in the chat room so we could take turns leaving and grabbing the Jergens.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm saying all this about women in their 40s and 50s, but I sent Bisho the greatest Sydney Sweeney video I've ever seen.
Did you get the one I sent you in the pool?
I had to just check out for the day because I was getting so distracted by the Sydney Sweeney video. I mean, but again, Sydney Sweeney is in a class by herself. Like these certain people, they're just that you can't define these people.
So if it was Sydney Sweeney as Mrs. Voorhees, I'd have an issue with that. Linda Cardellini's just fine.
I would suspend my disbelief. I would be fine. Yes, John JLD's. You know what, John? Maybe we will do a Patreon exclusive show of the 40-50 club, 40, 50, 60.
Yeah,
4, 5, 6. We should call it the 4, 5, 6.
We should find a list like the Maxim top 50 over 40 or something like that, and just review
people. But it's crazy too. There's always this thing that people say, well, men age better than women, blah, blah, blah. Like it's easier for a man to be attracted. People just look better now. I'm sorry. I've been alive a lot longer than most of you. People look better now. They just look better now. I don't know what the fuck it is. You could talk about how America's fat and everyone's on drugs and on medication, blah, blah, blah. And I do it too. But I am telling you, there were not people in the 40s and 50s, men and women, who look fucking amazeballs. These people didn't exist when the 70s and the 80s. You turned 40 and they put you in a field and left you there and drove the car away in society. And then you ended up playing a grandpa at 52 on a television show. You know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, I bring this up all the time. The first Cocoon movie, Wilford Brimley was like 50 years old. He was 49 or 50 years old in Cocoon. The nursing home movie, he was 50. There's wrestlers who are 50 that look amazing.
That's the thing I laugh about all the time.
Stupendous.
Like my buddies, I used to, because I was a young kid when Hogan was on top. I had the Hulk Hogan WCW Wrestling Boot CD, the music him and Jimmy Hart made for charity.
Okay.
And my buddy took it out. We were in like 5th grade. And he, with a white crayon on the black CD case, Hulk is too old on it. And that was before Hulk's second run. Yeah. And now think about that. Hulk was like, what, 45?
Yeah.
And now we've got AJ Styles, who's like 50, and all these other guys still.
40, it's like mid-40s.
Yeah, like CM Punk is like 48.
Punk looks great. I think I'm not an Edge fan. Edge looks amazing. Edge looks fucking great. He's 50 fucking years old, man. Like Dustin Rhodes. He looks great. He looks better than he's ever looked in his life. There's just something going on. I don't know if it's just the society pressure because we're online all the time and we're always being videoed and stuff like that. But I am telling you, when I was a child in the 70s, okay, a very young child, grandparents were 50. Your parents were in their 20s and 30s, and your grandparents were in their 50s. Okay. I am a guy in his 50s. I know very few grandparents. Very few. I got people who got kids still in, some people still have kids in day school, let alone high school. I got kids in college. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I think there's something about, because we've more like something organically has happened to us because we know we're always going to be taken. We're always on camera. We're always taking pictures. We're always taking videos. We got social media. We're always outside. It's not about being fat, thin, in shape, out of shape. It's just a physicality of, where I think maybe this is just the next plateau. But God bless these people. I think Linda Carly is going to do a great job, and maybe we will do the 4, 5, 6. Maybe that'll be my solo show. I'll pepper that into the. I'm gonna do a special solo show, for the Patreon. So you got to go to patreon.com/spitballmedia. But we've got some banging fucking trailers to get to. My God, B-Show. Trailer gods were generous today. And one of them, as of right now, is the second most watched horror trailer online of all time. That is not bullshit. It is It is the Final Destination Bloodlines trailer. It is official as of today. Bisho, the second most viewed trailer in horror genre of all time.
I did not expect that because I know this franchise is popular, but I thought it was popular on the level of like Jeepers Creepers, not on the level of Saw. For this,
Slightly bigger than that. I don't think it has the more mainstream than the cults. Jeepers is a cult more than mainstream. You don't think?
Jeepers Creepers?
It's more cults. It's not as mainstream.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying is I knew Final Destination was somewhat mainstream, but I thought it was still sort of on the level of Jeepers Creepers, not quite as popular as like a Saw or a Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah, no. It's up there for sure.
Okay.
I just couldn't believe. So so let's just get right to it. This is the trailer that was released. This is Final Destination 6, which is wild. I forgot how many there were. Bloodlines.
Drinks
Ah, with the music.
You already know something good's gonna happen. Oh my God, that's amazing. And it's New Line, B.
You don't get to pick the one you get. Just gotta love the one you got.
New Line's a little bit mixed on it, making good movies.
I always knew this day would come.
I got it.
I don't think you got it.
I held him off for years.
Charlie,
Oh, jeez.
get up here.
Way to build
The
tension with that
relentless son
one
of a
thing.
bitch.
It's pretty cool.
That's what they do, though, you know.
Won't stop till he finishes the job.
Wow.
Death is coming for our family.
I said, oh, 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 oh,
Grandma, what's happening to us?
Years ago, I had a premonition that started it all. I saw what death was about to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow, I like that.
I saved a lot of lives that night.
Everyone needs to get off the dance floor!
Lives
Good
that
for
were
you,
never
Grandma.
meant to be saved. But death doesn't like it when you mess with his plans.
This book, it will show you everything you need to know to keep our family safe.
Wow.
It all started with Grandma. Death is coming for us because we were never supposed to exist.
Fuck you, Grandma.
Only by embracing death
Tony Todd.
will it pass you by.
Wow, he looks really bad
Maybe death's not actually coming for our family.
Brr.
Because that would be crazy.
there. Nice.
Good luck.
You could tell Tony Todd was not long for the earth, sadly. I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I mean, we've all seen people that were sick, and he
It's
looks very
evident,
sick
yeah.
there. Yeah, that's his last. That will be his last film, sadly. Tony Todd, legendary horror person. B show, wouldn't you say, Tony Todd, for sure?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Legendary.
I know he was in stuff like what's Hatchet and things like that later on.
Yeah,
But,
he was
I
in
mean,
some
just
very
hi-
small, not so good movies, but
But him as Candyman is pretty iconic, and I know
fucking-
Candyman doesn't get the respect of maybe even a Hellraiser. He's kind of in that vein. from
yeah,
the
it's like a
80s.
Doug Bradley, I would say,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I would
But
say
just
so.
Incredible voice, incredible presence.
Yeah,
just
it's very
really
sad
good.
that this is his last film. B show, I'm gonna say it. I think it looks great.
I think so too, and I like the way that it's not like they're bringing back maybe one character or maybe Grandma is retro.
But we're gonna tie. It looks like this is tied to everyone and everything.
It is, but it's like it's not like they're like Scream, like bringing everyone back from the dead to be in this, which would
Yeah.
be kind of dumb.
It would be dumb.
I like it. It looks simple enough. I like the music for the trailer for sure. The Motown
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
I don't know who's directing this. We'll probably do a deeper dive as it gets closer when Shah's back. But Bijou, I have a feeling this is going to do quite well. May is a good time to put that movie out, I think.
I think so too, man. I'm willing to take a chance on this because I think it's been a while since they've done a Final Destination movie, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's been a good while.
And the concept is cool. It's not like a sequel where, hey, there's Chucky, and now he's coming back, and now he's coming back again. It's like death. It's an ethereal. It's
Yes.
it's a force of nature, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, and Final Destination. If you're not a big fan, I get it because I'm not the biggest fan. But I will say this: their forte, which we should all recognize, is building the tension before that kill. Right? I mean, who could forget? Which I don't know if it was the second one or the third one. The logs with the car. What an icon! Was that? That was not the first one. No, that was definitely.
It might have been. I just watched that back the other day.
Yeah. And they're hard R, I feel like. They push the boundaries quite a bit. They don't sheepishly give you, they're not going for the PG-13 horror,
No. And here's interesting thing about that too, is I know a girl I went to 8th grade junior high with, whose dad, before this movie came out, died in a similar way behind a truck like that. So
what?
Yes. So to this day, remembering that, I never drive behind trucks.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people make that reference. Like, I'm getting away from this motherfucker. Joe Punches brings up he voiced Venom in the new Spider-Man game. Tony Todd. I mean, with that voice, you know what I mean? Yes, Adam, thank you. It was the second. The second one's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with the first three. I feel like, after a while, once you get to 4, man, I don't care who you are. Once you get to 4, it's like, we're still doing this. You know what I mean?
I hear you. What was I going to say? The one thing I wanted to tease on the Patreon, as I mentioned, I do have a friend whose dad died some way like that. We found a list, and it was a law firm or a personal injury firm who ranked the deaths from the franchise that could legitimately happen to you. And if you don't,
we're going to bring this up we're going to go over this on the Patreon. So we're going to definitely bring this up on the Patreon for sure. But there was a couple of other cool trailers I wanted to bring up. I wanted to get right to this one because this is checking off a lot of boxes. So Al Pacino, who is 80-something, 80-something years old. I mean, you say Al Pacino, Bisha. I mean, everybody knows who you're talking about. He's just one of those people, right? I mean, hooah! Al Pacino, technically, maybe he was in that one horror movie where he played the devil with Keanu Reeves, where he was a lawyer.
Devil's Advocate, right?
Devil's Advocate. That's a horror movie. Would you say that's a horror movie, Bisho?
There's elements of horror in it, yeah. Mr. Lomax, who did you think we were making the deal with? And there's like what is it? The muggers beat up and kill Jeffrey Jones in the park, and
yeah.
I mean, it's not overly violent, but I would say it's probably.
I guess it's a horror movie. It's got a very unknown Charlize Theron in there. But it's a fun movie, but it's a little over the top. I think Dina Myers is in there from Starship Troopers.
Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure.
Are you my dad? Sorry, that
I'm
Keanu
pretty
Reeves
sure she's in there. Yeah, Keanu Reeves doing that accent. I mean, it's not his finest moment. It's just not. Why the law, John? Why the law? It's a little too 90s, as far as that goes. Al Pacino is doing a full-on horror movie in his 80s. And it's a fucking exorcism movie, and it's co-starring a guy who is pretty hot in the horror world right now, coming from movies like you know what? Let me just play the trailer because I still find this fascinating. Now, Bisho, is this the teaser trailer? I feel like we.
That's the one that you sent over.
Yeah, see if you could pull it.
It's only 8 seconds. Let me see.
I'm just fascinated that Al Pacino is even in this kind of a movie. It's called The Ritual, Al Pacino, 2025. Let's see. Trailer HD. How much? They're giving us very little there, right? In that trailer?
I don't think that's the right one. That's 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
It looks like teaser from Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, well, it's Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just freaked out that, Al Pacino, we had heard about this movie. It is a teaser, but for people might not have known that 80-year-old Al Pacino is in a horror movie.
We are the Lord's army in this battle. Emma is not well. I need a team of 3. Father Steiger will be taking notes and assist with the strains. The devil will do whatever it takes to foil our plans.
Was that Pacino's voice?
We must be resolute and hold back the darkness.
Oh my God, I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Satan and his demons, depart this woman! Be the light, devil!
Oof. Damn. Dan Stevens, yeah. Ashley Green. I know Ashley Green. Bisho, can we look this up real quick? Dan Stevens is in like 3 horror movies a year now, but first of all, love the Satan movies. As we know, I love these possession movies.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting that it's Al Pacino in this movie.
Yeah, what are you looking for? Cast or information?
Director.
Oh,
I want to see who's directing Al Pacino in a horror movie in 2025.
David Bruckner.
David Bruckner, the big time like action director. Get the
No, I don't think so. He did.
Yeah, Adam Cruising's one of my favorite Pacino movies as well. Dog Days up there too with the gun.
Hellraiser, VHS 85.
Oh wow.
VHS, The Signal. Yeah, so he's been on a lot of the VHS movies.
Oh, he did Southland. I like Southland. Southland was pretty good. So a VHS guy is directing Pacino in a horror movie.
And he did the Hellraiser for Hulu.
Oh, the one I didn't like that much.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not that great. Bisho, I'm intrigued.
I am too. It's such a different role for Pacino, and he just being a grizzled older guy with the beard and scraggly, it fits. And I like hearing him with like the not that I don't know if that accent was like Homeland Italian, but
yeah,
like that older, old school, otherworldly accent just is different than the voice we normally hear from him, which is a lot of times over the top.
Yeah.
So I'm a little burned out, I'm gonna say, on like the exorcism movies.
Yeah.
But it's Al Pacino, so what the fuck?
Yeah, it's Al Pacino. Dan Stevens has been in a lot of bangers. He was in Cuckoo. He was the villain in Cuckoo. Dan Stevens was also in that Abigail movie last year. He was like the male lead in the Abigail movie, which a lot of people liked. He was also I go back with Dan Stevens to that movie, I think The Guest. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, dude, it's a banger. It is like an 80s throwback. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's the kind of movie you would rent in the 80s, late 80s. Put it that way. I think it's called The Guest. Can you just pull up Dan Stevens real quick? This guy's red hot. He's in so many things. Legion.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just so Joe Punch said he was in Legion. I think it's called The Guest.
Yeah, The Guest. A string of mysterious deaths leads a teenager to become suspicious of soldier who showed up on his family's doorstep and claimed to be a friend of her dead brother.
Bisho, this movie is a banger. If you guys have not seen this movie, this is the kind of movie that people see and then go online and go, I just watched the fucking craziest movie. If you haven't, I stand behind this movie. What does this get? What does that get as a Rotten Tomatoes? I'm just curious.
92. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was on the screen.
Okay. Yeah. If you've never seen this movie, I don't know where it's streaming. Watch this movie if you can. You will be like, why didn't I know about this? I would definitely have watched this if I knew it was like this. It is a brutal, like Bisho, ultra violent movie. It's an ultra violent film.
What's weird is the concept, in a way, sounds like that space movie Ash, maybe, that we watched last time.
Yeah, I was going to try to check that out last weekend. I didn't go to the theaters. I wanted to check that out. He's so great. This dude's really, really popular right now. A lot of people like him a lot. He's getting a lot of work. I hope that movie's good, The Ritual. I'm excited to see a more long-form trailer, you know?
Yeah, me too. Like I said, it's something different for Pacino. Even his voice is different. That's what kind of makes me want to go see it. Not necessarily The Exorcism, because obviously it looks a lot like The Exorcist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes they're nondescript. If you see, it's kind of like what Bushwick Bill said about fucking mothers. If you fucked one mom, you done fucked them all. One of my favorite lines from that first Ghetto Boys album. But we got a couple more trailers. One of them is from Nicole Kidman. This is a very strange movie. I can't make heads or tails of this movie. It's one of these mystery type movies that you don't know if it's supposed to be like supernatural or not. It's called Holland. I think it's coming directly to Prime Video. And it stars Bisho, the guy who played the heavy in Deadpool, who is known from Succession. He played Tom in Succession. He was the guy who worked for the Time people, that guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's her husband in this. His star is on the rise. Anyway, very strange trailer. If you haven't seen this yet, I'm curious what you guys think. It's called Mimi Cave directed a movie that a lot of people are very high on. I think Shah has seen it. It's called Fresh. I'm sure you've heard of it. Came out a couple of years ago.
Heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, this is one of these like very, very buzzworthy movies. I don't know much about it, but like people like Sam Hoyos and other people have been really on my ass trying to get me to check this out. Yeah, Adam, Nicole Kidman is definitely on that list. But Bisha, I'm curious about this.
I am too. It reminds me of a couple of movies. So it reminds me of a mix of Stepford Wives and Pleasantville, and there's a
Yeah.
couple others that I don't remember that I was thinking. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like. Look, I'm a huge fan of, hey, everything is great, and it's this nice little town, but there's shit festering underneath.
Right.
There's- and I know you in Albany, you probably have the same feeling, but like anytime you're in this idyllic little like tight knit community, everyone wants to play like it's so nice, but there's shit going on under the surface.
Yeah, I mean, and again, from what I can gauge from the trailer, I think she suspects her husband is killing people, but we don't know. But it could be in her brain. Like it's
Yeah.
so innocuous, right? And I like that shit. Like, I'm definitely gonna check this out for sure. I've heard nothing but amazing things about that Fresh movie. I think it's on Netflix. It might. I don't know if it's still there.
Hulu and
Hulu.
I guess it would technically be Disney if you have the bundle.
Is that
but-
Sebastian Shaw? Like, who's the star of Fresh again?
Sebastian Shaw,
And who's the co-star?
Daisy Edgar Jones,
Yep.
Charlotte LeBone.
Okay. I just know that it's got like apparently a very original story, like, and people love that fucking movie. So I'm sure that's how this woman got Nicole Kidman and, to be the star in her film. But
Isn't it funny how like Nicole Kidman, Demi Moore, Linda Cardellini, like these women who are starting to age out of like your normal mainstream like leading lady roles are now going back to horror and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jamie Lee set that stage for a lot of people. It would be silly to say otherwise, right? The stigma behind doing horror is way over. It's just over. Like, there's no stigma. There's nobody goes, oh, your career must be in the toilet because you're doing a horror movie. If anything, you're going to see people, I think, after The Substance, quite frankly, go out of their way to be in a horror movie.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
weird
honestly.
because back in the day, like Black Christmas, Nightmare on Elm Street, like those type of movies, they would get one actor who was a leading man or a character actor who is now a little bit long in the tooth. So
Yeah.
you get your John Saxons, you'd get your, Donald Pleasances or people.
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
that.
how we got them. They probably couldn't get traditional roles,
Yeah.
By the way, Adam, I think we talked about Censor. If that's the movie I think it is, I think me and Shah have seen it. And Don Stoney, that Remy Malek movie looks okay. I don't think that dude's kind of a weird. I don't know. He's just an awkward guy. I don't know.
The one with him and
something about-
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, where he's like the CIA analyst whose wife gets killed by terrorists, so he goes around killing them but he's not tough, so he does like, I mean, it could be interesting. I think somebody famous might be directing it, but Remy Malek's a weird dude. Like I loved him in Mr. Robot, but after a while that show got on my nerves, and I'm kind of a fan, I guess, but I never really seen him in like a movie where, he was very commanding, even though like, even the Freddie Mercury movie, he was great, but it was a very watered down version of that story. Had they went with Sacha Baron Cohen's idea, it would have been like gay orgies, like for fucking 3 hours, and drug use and fucking, and crazy, like Caligula's birthday party. You know what I mean? Instead, it was kind of like, it was a little saccharine for me. Like I didn't really love that movie as much as other people did. I know he won an Academy Award for it, but whatever. We got one trailer, and then we'll get over to Patreon. This is a big one. So we teased this last week. Paul Thomas Anderson, director of Boogie Nights, Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood. Not There Will Be Blood. No, There Will Be Blood. What am I talking about? Licorice Pizza. My God. And what else am I forgetting that he's done? He's done other things, right? I can't remember.
You're asking the wrong guy. I confused him for Wes Anderson last week.
Yeah. Pull up Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm so sorry because it is confusing. I mean, it is fucking. They're also the same age, I think. So, but Boogie Nights, Punch Drunk Love. He followed up Boogie Nights, Magnolia.
That's right.
There Will Be Blood. The Master. Thank you, Adam.
Phantom Thread, Boogie
Phantom
Nights.
Thread. Yeah. He's done a lot. Licorice Pizza, I think, may have been of his last movie there. This is his new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. They just dropped the full trailer. What is this movie called again? It's got a weird title.
It's called One Battle After Another.
One Battle After Another. Hopefully this is the Red Band. I don't know if this is the Red Band trailer, but we're going to check it out for you right about now.
Yeah, let me try to find the Red Band because this is the official from Warner Brothers.
Oh, so they wouldn't be. Yeah, if there might not be a Red Band for this.
I don't see one.
Yeah, okay. They didn't put out a red band. So we get the PG trailer.
Yeah,
But
it's
it looks fucking bananas.
better than nothing. Here we go.
Here we go. Look at Leo, man.
I know, it's so great.
He's wearing a bathrobe.
With the Fu Manchu as well.
Yeah.
Rise and
You know-
shine.
Bat an eyelash.
Good morning.
There are no hands on the clock
Why?
because they're not needed.
What time is it?
Fuck. You know, I don't remember that part. All right, let's just not nitpick over the passwords.
Jesus.
This is Bob Ferguson. I was a part of the French 75.
Bitch, I felt like Tony Montana.
Steve Lockjaw just attacked my home. And I cannot remember, for the life of my only child, the answer to your question.
Maybe you should have studied the rebellion text a little harder.
I need to find my daughter.
Well, then call us back when you have the time.
Did you just...
I like these shots, dude.
You know, you are so unsuitable for my daughter. My child comes from a whole line of revolutionaries. And you look so lost. What are you gonna do about this baby?
You know what freedom is? What? No fear.
Oh, shit. Benicio del Toro.
Damn, this looks weird.
Fucking World War III out there.
Jesus.
Not one thing, it's another. Find that to be true.
Sean Penn.
Jesus. Damn it, hang on. I'm going to pause
What?
it for that cast.
Sean Penn, Regina Hall, Benicio del Toro. I don't know who these other two people are, but wow, dude. I think Penn is the heavy in here chasing DiCaprio, bro. Holy shit.
Oh, he would have to be. He's the one guy we haven't seen yet, right?
Yeah, I think he was that soldier. I thought it looked like Sean Penn for a minute. Okay. Bisha, I love the ambiguity here. It's great.
I know, it's cool. It's like a sort of post-apocalyptic World War III. Like you're seeing, guerrillas training, and then in the middle of it, someone's like either taking his kid or something. And he's trying to get him. You know what I mean?
I think they're arms dealers or something to that effect.
Yeah, and it's also quirky. It's not like a straight ahead Jason Statham. They took my daughter. I want to get him back. It's like
or what's his face? Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yeah,
I'm
coming for you.
I will find you. I'm definitely watching this. Neckbeard's like automatic watch. Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Like this is like speaks to me on like so many levels. Like I'm so unhappy Shah's not here because he would be like, oh fuck this, I have to go see this movie.
Right? Don Stoney, that bitch too old to be a believable Leonardo love interest.
Yeah, he doesn't bang anybody over 30. Like that's like he literally like has a farm system. Like he farms you out as you age.
Yeah.
But he's DiCaprio. I mean, if somebody's gonna do that, shouldn't it be DiCaprio?
I don't know. Should we finish the trailer?
I thought that was the trailer.
No, I paused it for the names.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't know how much we got left here. Let's see.
That's all right. Not too much. About 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
I need you, brother. Sensei, please. Courage, Bob. Courage.
That's it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That shit right there.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. God damn it! Viva la revolution!
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to see this movie.
Yeah, for sure,
I'm definitely going to see this movie. Shah's probably going to see it opening night. Like seriously. But listen, we got an action-packed Patreon. If you're in the Q&A, we're going to try to get it this weekend. Shah unfortunately had a circumstance. We don't know if he's available this weekend. But here's the deal. If it isn't available this weekend, here's what I'm going to do. If Shah cannot record this weekend, I am going to record a solo show and get it out to you myself. Okay. And then at this case, we'll have we'll still get the Q&A the following week, and you'll have a Q&A for April. But, we're going to do that. Okay. Because we owe you a little bonus show there. So I'll get that out to you probably maybe Saturday if I can. So I'll record my little solo show there for you as a little bonus. If not, if you don't get it this Saturday, it means that you're going to get the Q&A on Sunday. So great time to do the Patreon. You'll still get your additional bonus shows for the following month, as you do every month. And the only way to get there is by going to patreon.com/spitballmedia, $5. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We should throw a couple of quick plugs. We want to plug the Hey Now Rich Now podcast, which had a very highbrow guest on it this week, excuse me. And it is available. That guest is none other than, who was on that show, B? I'm sorry, who was there?
A little chubby-ish guy
Chubby-ish?
with a beard.
A cherubish man?
I know. With the beard, I can't claim cherubish anymore. And I'm not quite fat, but
no, you're not really.
I'd say chubby-ish. So, yeah, I was
rotund? Rotund is a good word.
But I'm not very round.
No, you're tall. A burly. He had a burly guest on the Hey Now Rich Now podcast.
There you go. So I was on with Rich for about 2 hours, talking about life and trying to make sense of the podcasting world and even influencers, and shout outs to names of podcasts past, like I think Wrestling Soup you mentioned as far as shout outs and influences. So go check it out, man. Like I said, you can check the whole episode out on his YouTube, but also he's put snippets up in shorts if you're into the whole brevity thing, man.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we want to plug our buddy Drew Yari, the adorable one. We want to plug Don Tony and Kevin Castle. I think today's Don Tony's birthday. Actually,
yeah, happy birthday, Don Tony.
The Wrestling Super, of course, and of course, we want to plug the Bayou Geeks, our good friend Fatty 316. I'm probably forgetting some other people because we have to redesign the whole plugs, the Necromaniacs podcast. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Again, either I'm going to drop a very drunk show tomorrow. It will not be
drunk
that
a very drop show tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna hold on. Here's I'm making a promise on the free. I'm either gonna drop a very drunk personal podcast for the Patreon. I'm going to save that wrestling stuff because it's very close to Mania, and I feel like it would be silly to do that now. It just seems dumb. We're very close to Mania. Why would I do that now when Mania is next month? That's really dumb, right? But if you don't get that podcast by Saturday morning, it's because you're getting the Q&A Sunday. So you get your Q&As in, regardless if you haven't already, okay? And then we'll get a link up for the April Q&A. And then maybe we'll do another special podcast for the Patreon in April. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Shaheen sends his regards. We appreciate you guys being with us. Special shout out to the Joe Punches. Hope you feel better. Thank you guys for all the support. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on the regular show.